city of Babylon, which was in Babylonia, was an ancient state of Mesopotamia, which is in modern Iraq. Babylon dates back to the 23rd century BC. It was ruled under the empire of Hammurabi around 1780 BC, and then ruled under Nebuchadnezzar II in 605 to 562 BC. Babylon was the capital of an ancient civilization that bridged trade from Africa to Asia Minor, which helped the spread of technology. The first dynasty of Babylon had a compilation of the Code of Laws. This was made by the order of Hammurabi. It laid out a task by Hammurabi to bring about the rule of righteousness in the land, to destroy the wicked and evildoers, and to fear God. As far as the shores of the Mediterranean, the rule of Babylon was obeyed. Trade and culture thrived for 150 years until the fall of Babylon in 1595 BC. Babylon still continued to be the capital of this empire and the holy city of Western Asia. The priests became all-powerful, and Babylon was the only empire where the right of the land to be inherited could be honored. Under the empire of Nebuchadnezzar II, he destroyed the Temple of Jerusalem and took the Israelites into exile. This enabled Babylon to become a biblical symbol of power and wealth, and an image of exile and oppression. Because of this takeover, the Jews in Babylon prospered. The Jews then absorbed the idea from the Babylonians to establish a universal empire under God and have one language and one religion. Babylon set to control a global governance empire over the world and reign as a universal empire. Many battles have been fought over the occupation of Babylon. They intended to build a Tower of Babel, which was intended to reach the heavens and give their people recognition. It was a symbol of power. The word Babel meant the gate of God. In Babylon, they had a solar deity known as Bel. In the Semitic language, Bel meant master, owner, the Lord, and the sun. El was known as the supreme God, the father of humankind and all creatures. El was asked to help Bel when he was slain by Mot, who was the god of the underworld. El could not prevent the death of Bel, but Bel was thus resurrected and reborn. They had a god in which they would sacrifice humans to, known as Moloch. In the 8th to 6th century BC, firstborn children were sacrificed to Moloch by the Israelites in the valley of Hinnom, which is southeast of Jerusalem. These sacrifices were intended to renew the strength of the sun fire. The sacrifice was generally associated with fire. This ritual is probably borrowed from surrounding nations, as many ancient cultures performed human sacrifice. The country of Israel is a term derived from the ancient gods. Isis, mother of Horus and goddess of the moon. Ra, the Egyptian solar deity. And El, the Babylonian supreme god, thus forming the word Israel, Israel. This is the Persian deity Mithra, also known as the sun god. Mithra dates back to the 14th century BC. Mithra was believed to be the mediator between God and man, between sky and earth. It is said that Mithra was born in a cave on December 25th and was born of a virgin. He traveled far and wide and had 12 satellites, which are derived from the 12 zodiacs, the sun's disciples. The great festivals of the sun are in the winter solstice and the vernal equinox, which is Christmas and Easter. His symbol was the lamb. Christianity, as we've seen from these ancient beliefs, has many striking resemblances to these beliefs. It has much resemblance to astronomy and the cycles of the sun. It is a belief structure formulated around the cycles of the sun, a system adapted from astronomy where the sun, the light, travels about the 12 zodiacs, also known as the 12 disciples. The Star of Bethlehem is symbolized by the brightest star in the winter sky, known as Sirius. To Egyptian astronomers, Sirius's rising marked the beginning of their new year, which was accompanied by 3 stars, adapted into 3 kings. This is the ancient sign for Sirius. He is known as Jesus of Nazareth, or Nasirius, but there has never been a place called Nazareth. There is no map from any ancient culture referring to Nazareth. There are 12 zodiacal houses of 30 degrees each, plus an additional 3 degrees each when the sun will pass through the sign of the zodiac. This makes 33, which is the number of mastery or morning star. There are also 33 vertebrae in the spine. Jesus was 30 when he began his mission and died at 33. The darkest days of the year are the 3 days following December 21st, after the winter solstice. 3 days pass and Jesus, the sun, is seen again on the 25th. His resurrection starts in the spring during the solar equinox. He is even depicted with a sun around his head and even dies on the cross, the center of the zodiac. The sun was also believed to be put out by the water in the night and rebirthed the next morning, baptized, so to speak. They use the symbol of the fish, which is based off of the age of Pisces. Even the Vatican is a layout based on the astronomy of the zodiac wheel, with the PowerPoint of the obelisk in the middle, which is adapted from Egypt. Ancient societies were very aware of energy points on the earth, such as the Mayans and Egyptians, very precise in where they would build their pyramids to harbor that energy. They used obelisks as energy points as well, which we see is adapted by the Vatican. Many historians around the Mediterranean who lived in and around the period of Jesus do not account any documentations relating to this figure. At the end of the service, Christians say Amen, which is also another name for the Egyptian solar deity Amun-Ra. The day of worship is even on Sunday. It is a belief structure formulated around the worship of the sun, along with all of these ancient religious beliefs.